Section 9.3, Problem 3. Pedro thinks that he has a special relationship with the number 6. In particular, Pedro thinks that he would roll a 6 with a fair 6-sided die more often than you would expect by chance alone. Suppose that little p is the true proportion of the time Pedro will roll a 6. Well, the true proportion, you have a 6-sided die. How do you get a 6? 1 out of 6 times. So the null hypothesis is P equals 1 out of 6. Okay? But Pedro thinks he can do better than the true proportion. So alternate hypothesis is P greater than 1 out of 6. All right. Now, suppose that Pedro makes 50 rolls. So sample size is 50 and a 6 comes up 11 times. 11 times. So P hat, that's the sample proportion, is 11 out of 50. Okay. Determine the P value of the test. To find the P value, you first need the test statistic given by this particular formula, P hat minus P over square root of PQ over N. So P hat is 11 over 50 minus little p is 1 over 6. Little p 1 over 6. Q is 1 minus little p, the whole over 50. You put all this in your calculator, you should get something like this. P value, because this is a right tail test, is the probability Z greater than the test statistic you obtained. Now approximate this up to 2 digits. After 1 is a 1, so that comes to 1.01. This is greater than. So greater than probability you get by using your table 1 minus the left area. Greater than is the right area. So right area is same as 1 minus left area. So let's look for 1.01. So 1.01. All right. 8438. So from 100% take away the left area, which is 0.8438. That is your p value. So I will say p value is 1 minus 0.8438. Now 5% level. So let's write down 5% level, right? What is alpha? Alpha is 5%. This is significance level of significance. So 5% is 5 over 100, which is 0.0500 for good measure, 4 digits. So let's figure out what you get here. Okay, I haven't completed this. So notice I get p value to be this number. So is p value less than this level of significance? Well, look at that. That's 1562 and this is 0500. Yes, it is less. If it is less, then you have to reject H naught. Okay, if it is less. Correct. So do you expect this to happen? You would say yes. Reject this. 5% level that Pedro rolls a 6 more often than that? No, actually, no. So because your probability is very small, that means you this cannot happen, so you're rejecting basically. Yeah, so it's a no. Okay, next. All right, fourth question. A newspaper conducted a statewide survey concerning the 1998 race. Sample random sample, you took sample size of 1100. Found that 570 would vote Republican. So R is 570. So the proportion for your sample is 570 over 1100. Let P represent the proportion of registered voters in the state. So that's for the population on a whole. So the null hypothesis is the proportion is 0.5. Well, let's look at our sample. Based on that, the alternative proportion is that proportion is greater than 0.5. So what is the Z statistic? Well, the same formula, P hat minus P over square root PQ over N. P hat is what you got minus this is your assumption. Remember, Q is based on your assumption value. All right. When you substitute all this, you get the Z statistic to be 1.206045,378. All right. What is the p-value? Notice my p, it's a right tail test, so Z greater than this. Go on to approximate it. After the 0 is a 6, so that 0 got bumped up to 1. You're looking for this probability. This is a right tail test, so right area is same as 1 minus left area. That is 1 minus this number I obtained using my table. Okay, for 1.21. 1.21. 8869. Okay, so 1 minus 0.8869, that's the p-value. All right, next problem. Okay. A noted psychic was tested for ESP. The psychic was presented with 180 cards, so sample size is 180. Asked to determine if the card was one of the 5 symbols. The psychic was correct 43 times, so that's success, number of successes. So the proportion in your sample is 43 over 180. You are given null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis. You should expect success to be 0.2, and are we getting our psychic to do better than 0.2? All right, so Z statistic, the test statistic is simply the formula again. You substitute and you get 1.304372987. All right, so we got that. P-value is probability Z greater than this. Don't forget to approximate it. So after the 0 is a 4, so I leave it at 30. Right tail, so right area is same as 1 minus left area, and using your table 1.30. 1.30 is 0.9032. So 1 minus 0.9032. 1 minus 0.9032. All right. So this completes section 9.3. All right then. This completes our statistics part of the course. Okay. Bye.